Hi, and welcome to Window Cleaning Dude. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about residential window cleaning. So if you're just starting out in window cleaning and you want to start doing residential window cleaning, that would be my recommendation. That's where I make the majority of my money, and I believe it's the fastest way to make money in window cleaning is doing residential. Now, there are the three options. You have storefront, residential, and commercial. In my opinion, storefront is the hardest to make money fast, but it's also probably the easiest way. You just go knock on storefronts and you can start window cleaning and make money right away. Although the problem with storefront is that you're going to be making $15 to $20 per storefront, just depending on the size of the storefront, but that to me would be the average. With commercial, you can't really jump into that game right away because typically they need to find you as opposed to you finding them, and you typically want to have a water-fed pool system. But with residential window cleaning, it's really easy to get into, just as easy as storefront in my opinion, except for that you can make a lot of money faster because you can just go land one job for the day as opposed to trying to go and land a bunch of storefronts. You can land one job and make good money. My preference is residential window cleaning, which you've probably learned by now if you watched any of my other videos, or if you've gone to windowcleaningdude.com to learn everything I have to teach you and share with you for free. It's pretty obvious on there as well that I prefer residential window cleaning, and that's where the majority of my business is. I would say my business is probably 90 to 95% residential, and then 5 to 10% commercial, just fluctuates. So I believe residential makes the most money because you can just go land one job and make anywhere from $100 on up to like $1,000 for cleaning one place. And if you're cleaning, let's say, a typical 3-bedroom home in a middle-class neighborhood, you're looking at $250 and up per house. So you can see how you could quickly make a lot of money in window cleaning doing residential. So if you get really good at window cleaning and you build up to doing like 3 houses a day or more, just with 3 houses a day, if you're doing each house as let's just say $250 a house, that's $750 in one day right there, and that's actually really easy to do. That's why I think you should consider residential window cleaning as your preferred method of making money. The other reason why I prefer residential window cleaning is because there's a lot more homes than there are businesses. There's a lot more homes than storefronts. There's a lot more homes than commercial buildings. There's typically not as many window cleaners compared to residential. So like what I'm trying to say here is there's not enough window cleaners to clean all the glass out there. And a lot of window cleaners compete for storefront because they want to just fill in their schedule and they don't want to have to constantly be getting more jobs and more jobs. They just want to be like, okay, my schedule's full for the month, and then I just have to go to this place and that place each day and then make my money. And the same with commercial. They think, oh, there's a lot of money in commercial, and there is. And they think, if I could just fill up my full schedule with these commercial buildings, then I don't have to go out there and get more jobs all the time. But what I found is that, yeah, with residential, you don't maybe have like that bi-monthly, every month repeat customer. You do get repeat customers. They're usually once every 6 months or once a year, but they are repeat. And so yeah, it's the long term building up that schedule of repeat customers. But what I also found is that I get a lot of new customers all the time, just from referrals, from neighbors, from repeat customers, to just my marketing. I'm constantly busy. I'm not like, oh my gosh, I wish I had a job today. Once you get going in window cleaning and you've been cleaning for a few months, you'll be at that point where you don't even have to have a full schedule laid out for your month because you're going to just constantly be getting jobs. And so typically I'm scheduling out and I'm full for 2 weeks. So by the time I get to the end of my 2 weeks, I'm already scheduled for the next 2 weeks. So I always have a 2-week out thing going, constantly adding new people, finishing jobs, adding new people, finishing jobs, adding people. So I always have 2 weeks out. And so don't be worried about not having enough houses to clean, because there are just so many houses and there's not enough window cleaners to clean them all, and people are always wanting their windows clean. And so if you just have your marketing going on and you've got word of mouth and you've got referrals and you've got repeat customers, you're going to have more than enough people to clean windows for, and you don't have to have a setup like storefront or commercial where you're trying to have repeats every 2 weeks or every month. Don't feel like that's going to be an issue, because it's not going to be. It's a matter of how many homes can I clean in one day. 3 is a good number. If you can do more than 3, even better. I think doing 4 or 5 is going to be a lot tougher if you're by yourself, because you're going to run out of daylight, especially in the winter months. But 3 is definitely doable and it can be done, and I do it regularly. And so if you want to make $100,000 or more a year, you can do that by yourself without without having to have another person helping you. Residential window cleaning, you know, typically the windows are a lot smaller and you can knock those out really fast. And then occasionally they'll have like a couple big windows, right? Like in the living room. The sliding glass door is always huge. They have a couple sliding glass doors. But most homes have like a variety, right? Some small windows, some middle size, some large, occasionally an extra large, or some really tiny ones, right, that you're going to probably bundle because they're just so tiny that you just feel guilty, like, am I going to charge $8 for a 1x1 window? A lot of times I'll bundle small ones, but I do think residential is easier to clean. There is less issues, I believe, with residential than with commercial or storefront. Now, if you're going to do residential, to me it's vital that you're able to do at least 2 stories. You can start off just doing 1 story, but you need to quickly take that money that you get back after your initial investment and reinvest it into more equipment. And that would be, well, 1, you need a vehicle, 2, you need some kind of rack on your vehicle, and 3, you need some ladders. With those ladders, you need ladder mitts and you need ladder levelers so that your ladders can be safe and set up safely, and it also cuts down on your time. And it's just, trust me, all around you want ladder levelers for being able to set up on uneven surfaces quickly and safely. I mean, you could do water-fed poles, but then you have issues of placing the screens back in, having to take the screens in, put them in that way. Also, I don't think water-fed poles is as effective for residential because your windows are few and far between, and then just the whole DI issue, using the resin, the cost for the DI resin. So I prefer to do residential all traditional. I have done with water-fed pole, but my preference is traditional when it comes to doing residential. I like to be right up on the glass. Some people don't care. They're fine standing down 2 stories below, cleaning, hoping that they got every little bird poop off. And that's the other part where the DI resin comes in, because if you're down below and you can't really see how well the good job you did, and residential are going to be the most pickiest of the customers compared to the 3, you know, storefront, residential, and commercial. Residential is going to be the most pickiest because they're living in the home, they're looking out the windows every day. You want to make sure those windows are clean. You want to be going in and out, up and down, trying to make sure those windows are clean. And when you're standing down below the water-fed pole, you can't always tell how good of a job you did, which means you're probably going to overcompensate using more DI resin, more water, more energy, trying to make sure that window's extra clean. So that's why I prefer to do traditional. I like to be up on the glass. I like to see what's happening. I like to make sure it's perfectly clean. So you want to be able to make sure you can do 2-story, and to do that you have to have ladders. And so you're going to need to invest in ladders. You're going to spend some good money there for sure. You know, you're usually looking at $1,000, right, between the ladders, the ladder levelers, and the rack. You're probably looking at $1,000, but trust me, you will make back that $1,000 in the first week, if not sooner. If you're doing 2-story homes and you're pulling in $250 per home and you're doing, let's say, 2 homes a day, well, in 2 days, you've made back your $1,000, easy, just like that. So don't be worried about the upfront investment. If you have the cash, go buy the equipment. You're going to make back all your money very quickly. Let's say you're just now starting off in window cleaning, go buy all the equipment for up to 2 stories, everything. You're going to probably spend a couple grand, and you're going to make back that couple grand in the same week. Okay, so don't be afraid to spend the money. You will make your money back, and then once you have made your money back, great. Now you own all your equipment. Now it's just all cash flow. Now everything you make is just money in your pocket, except for paying Uncle Sam taxes. That's it. You know, everything else is cash in your pocket. And so that's what I love about residential window cleaning and window cleaning in general.